I need to tell you something I've never told anyone properly. Not my mates. Not my family. Not even my girlfriend at the time. Because I was too embarrassed. Too ashamed. Too proud to admit that I, a 26-year-old lad from Leeds who thought he knew everything about money, had managed to blow through £60,000 in 18 months and end up with less than 400 quid in my account. £60,000. Gone. And the worst part? It wasn't stolen. Nobody scammed me. No one put a gun to my head. I did it myself. Every single penny of it. And I'm going to tell you exactly how, because I genuinely believe that my mistakes could save you from making the same ones. Right. Let me set the scene properly. I was 24 when I landed my first proper job in IT support in Leeds city centre. Nothing glamorous, 32,000 a year. But after years of being a broke student living on value pasta and instant noodles, it felt like I was absolutely minted. First month's salary hit my account, and I genuinely just stood there staring at my phone like an idiot. £2,010. After tax. In one go. I'd never seen that much money in my life that I'd actually earned. And that, right there, was the beginning of the problem. Because nobody had ever sat me down and explained what to actually do with money when you have it. My dad worked in a warehouse his whole life, brilliant man, but finances weren't discussed at home. School taught me absolutely nothing useful. And so I did what most lads do when they suddenly feel rich for the first time. I spent it. The first 6 months were what I now call the stupidity phase. New clothes every weekend. Nights out in Leeds 3, sometimes 4 times a week. Eating out for lunch every single day at work. Never packed a sandwich once. Upgraded my phone on contract even though my old one worked perfectly fine. Started going to a gym I used about twice a month and paying £38 for the privilege. But here's the thing. I wasn't even noticing it. Because the money kept coming in every month. So it felt fine. It felt normal. Then my nan passed away. God rest her. Lovely woman. She'd lived carefully her whole life, saved quietly, never made a fuss about it. And she left me and my 2 cousins a share of her estate. My share came to just over £60,000. £60,000 dropped into my account on a Tuesday afternoon like it was nothing. And instead of that being the moment I sorted my life out, it became the moment everything got dramatically worse. Now listen, I want to be really honest here because this is the bit people don't talk about enough. When you suddenly have a lot of money and you have zero financial education, you don't think, right, let me invest this wisely. You think, finally, I can do all the things I couldn't do before. So here's where it went. And yes, I tracked it all down afterward. Painfully. £12,000 a car. Brand new. On top of the inheritance, not instead of something else. Just, I want a nice car, I'll buy a nice car. £8,000 holidays. 3 of them in 18 months. Ibiza, New York, Thailand. All brilliant. All completely unnecessary given my situation. £14,000 I started dabbling in individual stocks. Not index funds, not anything sensible. I was watching YouTube videos about penny stocks and thinking I'd figured something out. Lost nearly all of it within 8 months. £6,000 a new flat. I moved out of my cheap house share into a nicer apartment by myself. My rent went from $450 a month to $950. The difference alone was costing me $6,000 a year extra. The remaining $20,000, I genuinely couldn't fully account for it. Restaurants. Rounds of drinks. Stuff I don't even remember buying. Subscriptions. Online shopping at midnight. Just evaporated. 18 months after receiving £60,000, I had £382 in my account. £382. The moment I realized how bad it was, I was sitting in my expensive flat, eating an expensive takeaway, wearing expensive trainers, and my card declined at Tesco trying to buy milk. Milk. I sat on my kitchen floor for about 20 minutes just staring at the wall. I wasn't in debt. That was the only saving grace. But I had absolutely nothing. No emergency fund. No investments. No pension contributions beyond the absolute minimum. No savings whatsoever. Just a nice car depreciating in the car park, and a wardrobe full of clothes I didn't need. I rang my older brother that night. Told him everything. He didn't shout. He just said, right, are you ready to actually fix it now? That phone call changed my life. He came over that weekend with a notepad. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And we sat down and went through everything. First thing he said, you need to see the actual number. Not a rough idea. The exact number. What comes in, what goes out, where it goes. So we built a proper budget. First real budget I'd ever made in my life at 26 years old. And I want to tell you what we found because it was honestly staggering. My take-home was £2,010 a month. My fixed costs, rent, bills, car finance, phone subscriptions, came to £1,460. That left me £550 for everything else. Food, petrol, socializing, everything. But I'd been spending closer to £2,200 a month on average. I was overspending by roughly £600 every single month on top of blowing through the inheritance. No wonder I had nothing. So here's what I actually changed, and these are the exact steps, not vague advice. First, I moved flats. Painful decision. Felt like going backwards. Found a decent house share in Headingley for $550 a month. Saved £400 a month overnight just from that one decision. Second, I sold the car. Bought a 5-year-old Ford Focus for $4,000 cash. Eliminated the finance payment entirely. Another £280 a month freed up. Third, I canceled every subscription I wasn't using daily. Saved £63 a month. Sounds small. Over a year that's £750. Fourth, I opened a stocks and shares ISA with Vanguard and set up a standing order for £200 a month on payday. Came out automatically before I could spend it. I never saw it, never missed it, and it just quietly started growing. Fifth, I finally sorted my pension properly. Bumped my contribution up to meet my employer's full match. Free money I'd been ignoring for 2 years. Sixth, and this one sounds almost too simple, I started packing lunch for work. £4 a day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. That's £1,000 a year I'd been spending on meal deals and Pret. The first year was genuinely hard. Not going to pretend otherwise. My mates were still going out every weekend and I was saying no most of the time. FOMO is real. There were Saturday nights where I was sitting at home feeling genuinely sorry for myself eating own-brand pasta, while my phone was full of stories from people out having it. But I kept going back to one thought my brother had said to me. He said, the people living it up now are borrowing from their future selves. You're paying your future self back. That stuck with me. By month 8, I had a £1,000 emergency fund. First time in my adult life I had actual savings sitting there doing nothing useful except being a safety net. By month 14 I had $3,000 in the ISA. Not a lot, but mine. Built from scratch after losing everything. I also picked up a small freelance gig doing IT support remotely for a couple of small businesses on evenings and weekends. Brought in an extra $400 to $500 a month. Every penny went straight into the ISA on top of the standing order. At month 18, exactly the same amount of time it had taken me to destroy £60,000, I had just over £9,000 saved and invested. 9,000, not 60. But this time I knew exactly how it got there. And I knew it wasn't going anywhere stupid. I'm 31 now. 5 years on from that kitchen floor moment. ISA value sitting at just over £68,000. Pension pot at around $22,000. Small emergency fund of $5,000 in cash. Net worth around £95,000 and growing every single month. Not a millionaire yet. I want to be straight with you. I'm not going to tell you I turned it all around in 3 years and bought a Porsche. That's not this story. But here's what I do have that I didn't have at 26. I sleep at night. I don't check my bank account with my eyes half closed, scared of what I'll see. I know where every pound is going. I've got a plan. And for the first time in my adult life, I feel like I'm actually in control. So what do I want you to take from this? The first lesson, and I cannot stress this enough, is that money without education is dangerous. It doesn't matter if it's an inheritance, a bonus, a pay rise, a lottery win. If you don't know what to do with money, more money just means more ways to lose it faster. Learn first. Always. Second lesson. Lifestyle inflation will silently destroy you. Every time your income goes up, your brain tells you that you deserve more. A nicer flat. A better car. Fancier food. And maybe you do deserve it. But if your net worth isn't growing at the same rate as your lifestyle, you're moving backwards, not forwards. Third lesson, index funds are boring, and that's exactly the point. I lost £14,000 trying to be clever with individual stocks in 18 months. My boring Vanguard ISA has returned just under 40% in 5 years without me doing a single thing except leaving it alone. Fourth lesson, your future self is a real person. Every pound you waste today is a pound your future self won't have. And your future self will remember. And the fifth lesson, and this one's personal, ask for help before you hit rock bottom. I waited until I had 382 pounds and a declined card at Tesco before I rang my brother. Don't be me. Talk to someone sooner. If you're watching this and you've made similar mistakes, blown savings, wasted an inheritance, spent money you shouldn't have, I want you to know something. It's not over. Not even close. The best financial decision you will ever make isn't a stock pick or a property purchase. It's the decision to start properly, honestly, with a notepad and the real numbers from wherever you are right now. That's it. That's the whole secret. If this story hit close to home, please give it a like. It genuinely helps more people find this channel. Drop a comment below. Have you ever blown through savings or made a big money mistake? No hype, no nonsense, just real talk about real money. And if you want to see exactly how I set up that Vanguard ISA and automated my savings so I never have to think about it, that video is right here. Thank you for watching. Don't be too hard on yourself. Just start.